Yay, okay. We're not muted.
Yay, we're not muted. That's apparently that is what we do. Accidentally all the time is muting. So anyway, to recap what we were saying when we were muted is we're going to talk about teleporters today. And so those are a new addition, and basically how it came about is we've been like getting a bunch of our friends to play Lumote so that they could play some of the harder puzzles. And as they've been getting there, they've been getting stuck, which, I mean, yay, because hard puzzles, and, you know, you need to actually think a bit, but also boo, because it brought to light kind of an issue that we had talked about in the beginning, where with puzzle games, if you get stuck and it's linear, the only thing you can really do if you're stuck is like either look online, sit in the room, or turn the game off, which is not ideal for player retention.
No, not ideal.
And what a lot of puzzle games do is that they allow for branching puzzles. So once you get to a certain place, like after you know the mechanics, if you get stuck on one, you can like back out and go to a different one and like come back later. And with how Lumote is currently, it's completely linear. You have to like solve each puzzle as you go. And we had talked in the beginning about making Lumote more of like a Metrovania style where you could like go to a bunch of different places and explore things. But in the beginning, Lumote was like super dark. Like go back to Lumote, like kind of how it is on the screen, where everything was like super dark and
actually,
you couldn't.
Even darker. Yeah,
it was even darker than this, like back in the day. So navigating in Lumote was super hard, where it's like now we've added a lot more light into the full world of Lumote, so it's a lot easier.
It was more like just this.
Yeah.
It was just black.
But yeah, so we have the towers in Lumote now, and they like help you as a waypoint, and things are just like way brighter. It's a lot easier to see back what you've done. Kyle's gonna bring up the main world. So yeah, like it's this whole sort of thing. Those are cards. So what we're talking about now, and was in World 2, they can actually kind of be standalone, because in World 1 you've learnt the mechanics of movers, worms, and dumb bats, and lasers, which is actually quite a bit of stuff. And then in World 2 we were going to introduce the motes, the guard, the diverter, and the jelly. And
it was bring up the jelly.
Oh yeah, the jelly's really pretty. But we were going to introduce those, and like you would first get introduced to the guard, and then after the guard, the diverter, and then finally the jelly. And it would successively, you would have like the guard interact with the diverter, and then at the end, everything else. So the thing with that too, though, is like I had been working on like polishing some guard puzzles, and because the guards are the first one you're introduced to, they only deal with all the World 1 mechanics, and that was actually already quite a bit, and it was getting really complicated. And even with like the puzzles right now, I have a bunch of like jelly and diverter puzzles done.
You got distracted by the cat, didn't you?
I did. There's a black and white cat outside of our balcony, and he's super cute, and I really just want to go outside and pet him, but every time we open the door, he like runs away, which makes me sad because he's so cute. He's got like little black and white paws. Anyway, back to design. I don't even know. I'm so distracted by cat. I don't remember. Wait, no. So what we were talking about was pulling the puzzles that had the World 2 modes interacting actually wouldn't impact the current build too much. I could just put them into World 3 where they all are interacting with like more difficult puzzles.
You mean like, so if all of the modes, like if you've got a guard and a diverter or a jelly and a guard in a puzzle together, those puzzles can just go to World 3 now.
Yeah.
So that the problem solving domain for World 2 is actually just guard and everything else you've learned previously
in World 1.
In World 1, yeah. Or jelly and everything from World 1, or diverter and everything from World 1.
Yeah.
So those three don't actually interact together.
In World 2.
In World 2. Which is this is basically, like you're saying, this is the design that we originally had like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When the game was much more
open.
Much more open.
Yeah.
Less linear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay, gotcha.
So now that we're going to that, and then the other thing was distance between, like the walking distance, where it's like, oh, you have to like walk all the way somewhere and then walk all the way back, and it's a little tedious if you get stuck. So this is where the teleporter comes in, where if you want to go, what we're having it now is like you get to the World 2 hub, and then you're going to be now presented with three branching choices, where it's like the guard, diverter, or the jelly, and you can select a teleporter and go to that region and play, and then once you get stuck with a puzzle, you can teleport back to the hub and like choose a different path if you want.
Yeah.
And so this is, Kyle's already started building like the basics of it, where you can like teleport.
Which I wanted to demo, but it actually just doesn't work right now, so so I mean, while we're talking about this, maybe we can see if we can make it go again.
Okay.
So the question today, though,
mm-hmm.
is like, while this is an obvious problem, this is a great way for us to solve this problem because it's kind of quicker than any other solution, and it's kind of fun and interesting because who doesn't like teleporters? We just need to figure out the flow now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you solve each tower, and then like in World 1, you solve each tower and you slowly progress. In World 2, what does it mean to solve each tower? Is it just you get to the end,
mm-hmm.
or is it like a little mini hub where you solve the puzzles, or how does that work? That's what we're gonna discuss right now and
mm-hmm. try
and figure out, right?
Also, how the teleporters actually work per level. Our friend Dean is messaging us. Hi, Dean.
He's just being a jerk, though.
No. Anyway.
Sarcasm. Hi, Dean. Say hi on stream.
Yeah, chat with us. Yeah, so part of it also is just like right now in World 1, all you do is interact with the checkpoint. So you finish a puzzle, go to the next room, hit the checkpoint, bam, done. Whereas with the teleporter now, how we're thinking is you get to the hub and then you teleport to each region or each like sub-hub area, and it's like, do you enter the sub-hub or do you go to the first puzzle in the sub-hub? And I think we've decided like you go to the first puzzle and then it like spirals into where the actual hub is. I drew a little picture. Where's my picture? Got too many notes. Yeah, this is my ugly picture.
Yep.
So there's like,
might have to bring it way closer.
I can't see that. Okay. So you have the tower, the sub-hub. This is like the hub right here. And then this is like the sub-hub. So you teleport, and instead of teleporting to the actual like sub-hub, which is where the tower is, you teleport to the first room, and then you slowly spiral in, and then once you finish the final puzzle, you get to the sub-hub, you like change the tower, you have your giant dump bat moment, and then you can like teleport back.
Okay, so from hub,
yeah,
you teleport to the sub-hub.
No, to hub you teleport to the first puzzle.
You teleport to the first puzzle.
Yeah.
Right.
And then as you solve those puzzles, it's the same as World 1, where you like solve a puzzle, then go to the next room and hit that checkpoint.
Right.
And then this is where we were kind of talking about there should be like a right in front of each checkpoint should be a teleporter, and that becomes the new like primary teleporter in
Right.
the in that sub region.
Okay.
Because if you teleport there, you want to go back to the hub, and then you can go to a different sub hub. But if you go back to that sub region,
Right.
you want to go to the last puzzle you've actually solved.
Okay. Well, we can actually let's just like we can plot it out in my sandbox here
Okay.
because I'm a little bit confused.
Mm.
So let's just make some grids.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the level.
Okay.
Whatever. We'll make a couple. Actually.
Yeah, you should make 3 because there's like 3 sub regions in.
Is that Dean again?
It is Dean again.
Okay.
Dean's got his own special chat because he's special. What are you making? It looks like.
Yeah, I was just trying to make a couple rooms. These are just mini rooms. This is a little diagram.
Okay.
This is an approximation of the world. Okay.
Okay.
It's like you got to deal with it. Things look like penises. Here, now it's a dumbbell. It's unambiguously a dumbbell. So, so you're saying that they're okay. So, all I'm thinking about right now is I just want to get like the flow of one space working, or to understand the flow of one space. So like, we'll say that this taller one here. Okay, so this is a sub hub.
Okay.
Maybe we'll rotate it this way so that we know. Okay, so, and then whatever, we'll pretend there's a bunch of other puzzles in this little bridge here. So we've got like the main world,
Okay.
or the main hub.
Okay.
We've got a puzzle.
Yeah.
And then we've got the sub hub.
Yeah.
So as I understand what we're talking about right now, so like you would enter into the hub and you'd find like a teleporter like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you come down the big elevator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to find like, well, you'll find 3 of them, but whatever. We'll just say that there's one right now.
Yeah.
And then on the other, and then you're going to have like a corresponding teleporter somewhere else in the space.
Mm-hmm.
That's on like at the beginning of the first level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there like a, if we extend this out a little bit, I made my level a little too small. So if we've got a teleporter here, then is there like a checkpoint? There's going to be like a checkpoint there, and then another teleporter on the other side. Like this. So like you teleport to a
Mm-hmm.
space. Is that
Okay,
right?
So
Is that what you're describing? Or
Yeah.
no?
Also, Dean keeps chatting with me on Hangouts. You have to chat in the actual chat if you want to
Yeah, we're
be
not
responded to.
we're not
'cause-
talking to you on our phones anymore, Dean. I'm sorry.
You have to be a team player because.
You have to sign up for a Twitch account. Give us a follow.
Okay, so this is actually what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Is and I'm just gonna so. Okay, I'm just gonna. What is this? Duplicate.
Oh, it's just the pivot is like
Duplicate. That's okay.
out of the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just down. The pivot's just.
It's
It's just because I rotated it. What are you doing?
I'm deleting these two
Okay.
because that doesn't help me. It's too much work at that point.
Okay.
So, how it's gonna be? There you go. And then I'm just gonna go like this, and then let's set up. Son of a whore. Okay. New grid.
New grid. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And this is now the sub hub. This doesn't exist. That's nothing. All right. And pretend there's like multiple levels. This is like the first one.
I see. New diagram. Same concept. New diagram.
Same concept, new diagram.
Okay.
So, and then this goes. So how it would be is like you do this, you like this is the hub,
right,
and you
Go
teleport,
yeah,
and you get here,
right,
and this is the first teleport. So you appear at the teleporter, and this like triggers
so,
this checkpoint, and then
right,
you go to the next room. You finish this puzzle. You go to the next room. You walk through the checkpoint like you would
right,
a regular.
right. So the teleporter,
a regular checkpoint, and then there's just a teleporter like right in front of it.
okay,
So if you want, you can be like, oh, this room sucks,
right,
and then just teleport back. And then if you go do like a different puzzle, whatever, and then if you resonate on this, then you'll teleport back into this puzzle, the last one you did, as opposed to the ones you've completed.
Gotcha. Right.
And
okay,
then,
so the first entering the room,
mm-hmm.
teleporting to that teleporter implicitly just activates a checkpoint there.
Yes.
Just so that people can see that it's the same as every other puzzle the previous 15 puzzles they've done.
Yeah. This is kind of why I was talking also about like maybe having the visuals of the checkpoint tied with the teleporter.
Yeah, I think we can make it look like,
because like even in the hub one where it's like, I don't know, take away the because so one of the reasons why the checkpoint is shaped like this is to stop people from going backwards.
Yeah, it's a door / wall / airlock / spawn point. Those are all of the problems that we've had to solve with it. Yeah. And it's changed a lot. It's like the one system that's been in the game for all 5 years, and it's the one piece of art that has had the most change, the most variations. Yeah. Even more than our player, which is unusual. Usually players are the thing that change the most. But we went from cube to squishy blob dude, and that was it.
Whereas like this one went from like weird crystal bonfire to like weird, they're all weird. Weird crystal bonfire to like floppy,
it was like
circle,
a floppy jelly ring.
Jelly ring.
It's
then
like a weird donut.
Pointy star gate.
Angry Stargate.
Angry Stargate.
And then the Angry Stargate is actually what's still in our. That's what they used to look like.
Oh yeah, Angry Stargate right there.
So that's in our box art. We're probably shipping with that because we can't afford to pay Dave to do more work. But that's fine. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, like you were originally suggesting, it'll be a small version of a checkpoint that's like flat on the ground. So it'll be like the whole thing flat on the ground. And then it'll have like the normal like possession pad in the middle of it. So it looks like everything else you can possess.
Well, the thing I was also kind of thinking about was in the center one. And I mean, it depends on like what you're gonna build, but like we could just use the big crystal petals and like remove the inner ones, because the inner ones are the ones that actually act like the lock.
They close. Yeah.
They close, whereas like the crystals stay there. So we could just make you could have like, because the hub portals also act as checkpoints. Yeah. So you could just have them as each like the petals, and then whatever you're going to have on the ground to actually symbolize the portal. The portal teleport. I don't know why I keep saying portal.
It's a portal.
Portal teleporter.
I mean, I guess it's not a portal because you can't see through it. Or
because Stargate is a portal, and you can't see through the Stargate. It's got the.
But this behaves more like a transporter. You don't walk through it. I guess a portal you have to walk through. Yeah. This is more like.
This is like Star Trek.
This is like
teleporter.
A weird underwater creature that teleports to.
You know what it really is more like? A pneumatic tube.
It's a pneumatic tube. But it turns you into
laser.
Energy.
So teleporter.
With lasers. So teleporter. We could make it like a pneumatic tube, though. I wonder if we have like a weird like slime thing that.
No, that wouldn't work because we want to have the sub hubs, right? That would get really confusing. where this becomes like the whole
Yeah, it would like connect.
Rotating.
No, it would
thing.
like connect. And then like the one that you activate just becomes the one that's like lit up, and the rest of them just like become like a little weird.
Actually, how do pneumatic tubes work in real life? Because they have pneumatic tubes where they're all connected and then they go.
I think.
Right?
I don't know.
Or is there only
one? Maybe it's like a series of relays that like open and close like the particular tube you want to go to.
Oh, that makes
or
sense.
It's like old school telephone where they just have like switch boxes. So like the tube comes out somewhere and somebody looks at the address and then like sticks it in a different tube. Like they have human routers that reroute the tubes. I don't know. There's only 2 people watching the stream, and I suspect neither of them are specialists in pneumatic tubes. So.
Yeah.
Curtis might know.
Curtis might know. That's another reference. He knows stuff.
He knows stuff.
He knows stuff.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Right. So then, like, these things would just go. So, whatever. It can't be, like, right in front of it.
Well, I was thinking...
I guess it kind of
I was
fits.
thinking 6 blocks in front, because that's where Lumote appears when he appears through
That's like the default.
Yeah, that's
position.
The default we have right now for where Lumote appears. Lumote appears 6 meters in front of the checkpoint.
He just appears whatever this spawn offset thing is. I guess
6.
I just made it default to 6.
It's 6. I can tell you for a fact.
But it's 2. I think it's going to be 2. We'll have to make these ones start a little bit farther away.
Yeah.
Because like if I put a piece of artwork there, like we don't want these 2 things to be like interacting too much. Like I don't.
Don't we?
No, like you just don't want the space to be like really cramped there. Because I'm not going to make custom models for those. We don't have time.
Okay. Well,
so,
yeah.
like it's like I don't. It'll need to be. Yeah, basically like. If it's. Yeah, it might be fine. I mean, whatever. My worst case scenario is you just have to move it like a meter. So it's 7 meters away. Like, big whoop.
Ruins everything.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. I'm great at tubes.
At tubes?
I don't know.
The real bad nuts. What?
Do you know?
What do you know about pneumatic tubes?
Yeah.
How is a message in a pneumatic tube rerouted?
No idea.
Yeah.
Dean's talking. Damn it, Dean! Still talking.
Stop.
No, buddy.
No.
I'm
Ignore
really
it.
bad.
Ignore your phone. Just pretend you're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Okay.
I guess I don't really know. I don't really see any. I can't picture any flaws in this design right now. You think Arn would be up and watching this too? So.
It is 2:30. That is his wake up time.
Yeah, he should be up by now.
Should do.
I'm just gonna run the game so I can actually look.
Okay. I feel like pressure on the side, vacuum in front. Oh.
Yeah, but how does it change? How does the tube change direction? So you've got to send it. You've got to send a message to a specific location. But like not all messages are going, not all of the the message containers are all going to go to the same destination. So how do you send a single message from a single tube to different destinations? There has to be like a routing system, right? That's the real question.
Oh, he says they're one way. Oh, maybe I guess back in...
Really? So you would have to have a human. There has to be like a human router.
Yeah. I guess.
Are you just using Google?
So maybe my information. Oh, routing room. They have a routing room. This makes sense.
That's what I've been saying.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so in my mind, I think I'm like picturing cartoon pneumatic tubes where it's like they would shoot and then there'd be like the little
message just knows where to go.
No, it would like get to a section and then it would like rotate. What are those like? You'd have like a rotating tube. I think maybe I'm also kind of thinking about the Incredible Machine game where it's so. You do know what's all the answers, Bad Nuts. He
just knows how to use the internet.
Well, that's actually a really good skill. That's like all you need now. That's like half my knowledge on programming. It's just like, How do you do this?
Degree was useless.
Degree was useless. All I do is just search GitHub. No Google. Futurama style. I was also kind of thinking Futurama because like they have the human pneumatic tubes. Yeah.
Okay.
No Google. Awesome. All nuts all the time.
So okay, so you get to the hub thing here. Oh, this
is our little debug mode, by the way.
It's like little fly cam. We can fly around and see the whole world.
And all the things, all the...
Look at how pretty it is.
Those footsteps things were like another trial thing we did a long time ago where we were going to have cameras that...
Oh yeah, automatic camera system.
Yeah, turns out that's not really that great.
It works. It's just really difficult unless you can make your cameras completely perfect. So, given that we weren't confident we could make perfect cameras for 100% of the puzzles for the whole game, we didn't want to end up in a situation where everyone's like, the game was cool, but the cameras sucked.
Yeah, no, it's really hard to do cameras.
Yeah,
like,
it's really like it's just impossible to make.
Yeah.
Automatic camera stuff. You just give the player control of the camera and we let it go.
What game was I playing recently where I was getting really angry at the camera? It was one of the
one that looks like Wind Waker.
The one that looks like
or not like Wind Waker. It has that kind of like almost cell shaded like flat style like Ico.
Either way, I was playing like a game recently and
I forget what it was.
The camera just like worked against me every time and it was super annoying. AAA studios can do the camera. Even they like mess it up sometimes. It's so hard because we're so used as humans.
A AAA studio can't do it.
Oh, can't do it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then I agree with you 100%, Bad Nuts.
So I don't know.
Have sliders in options. You'll adjust it.
I don't know if anybody played Too Human, but we tried to have this like automatic camera thing in that, and I don't know. Basically, what ended up that one was it was bad.
Kyle used to work at Silicon Knights.
In the end, like because the camera had this whole priority, it was like, well, you don't want to control the camera, so we need some way to turn the camera to look at whatever you want. So the camera would swing to look at the enemies, but then because everything is camera relative action, you could basically just like hold one stick to attack and point it forward and clear an entire room, because you would just point forward, you would attack the enemies, and then once those enemies are dead, the camera would just look to the next place, and then you would just dash over there and attack those enemies. So the game was actually like, the game would have been so much better if we just had a normal camera combat system.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually liked the stick flicking to do the attacks. I just didn't like the camera control thing. I don't know how you solve that problem though, because you only get 2 thumbsticks. So okay. So
back to design.
So I mean, it would be not unlike this, right? You would come down, you're in the hub.
Mm-hmm.
This teleporter might be over here. Like this whole area would be like, could be cleaved off now. It doesn't actually.
Well, yeah. So if you zoom in, enhance right there.
Zooming.
So right now, this is like your little walkway.
This is the walkway.
Yeah, this is the hub right here. I'm pointing. Yeah, I'm pointing with my hand, but
you point with your hand. I'll use the cursor.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the hub, and then once you actually solve this line right here. I'm taking it. I'm taking control.
Yeah, you do. Oh yeah, it's wireless.
Yeah. So this line here would be blue, and you could like walk through and go through this checkpoint. With the new system, this entire walkway would be gone, and you would have like the 3 options here, and then you would choose if you wanted to go to the guards. Then you would stand on the teleport here, and then that would just take you right here.
Right. I can actually. We can actually just warp down there.
I love not having to play games. I don't know. We weren't paying attention to the chat and now I don't know what's going on.
Is Real Bad Nuts Dean?
Maybe. Oh, he was talking about your Two Human thing. Because, like, auto playing. Yeah. Yeah, then you just get a...
So, seriously, like, I mean, it's been so long now, I'm sure it doesn't matter, because this was, like, the beginning of my career, but when we were doing QA on Two Human, there were so many times where I would hold that stick once I, like, discovered this, and it'd be, like, really late at night, and we're running QA on this thing, and I would just hold that stick, and I would fall asleep. I would literally fall asleep and clear rooms.
Didn't you say that somebody actually used like a rubber band?
Oh yeah, you could use a rubber band. The other thing I used to do is just turn the controller upside down, and the weight of the controller can push the stick. And I could like clear rooms with just by turning the controller upside down.
So.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but that was why I loved the zero we all actually got a good kick out of the zero punctuation review of Two Human. He described our use of removing the camera or using the right stick for combat instead of the camera as everybody thought it would be a good idea to make submarines out of steel, and then somebody decided it might be a good idea to try and make one out of bread.
I mean, they do have soup bowls made out of bread. They kind of work.
But this is a submarine, not a submarine sandwich.
Which would be delicious.
Made out of bread? Yeah. I would rather
sandwich soup bowl.
Sure. I would definitely rather eat a sub sandwich made out of bread than out of steel. But that wasn't the analogy. There was a little diagram of a sub.
Jumping.
I'm just gonna get down there.
Okay. This is like a little placeholder dumb bat. We're gonna like make.
This is spoilers. Don't look. No one look.
Oh no! Now they know the secret to everything. I
need to unfog this now.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Right. So I would get down here and then like whatever, like the checkpoint would be, or like a little, it would be very well placed, very obvious, use me teleporter thing down here.
Well, I was going to make it kind of like little statues, little guards, like, or like pillars where it's like all guards and then all diverters.
Just like jump
and all,
off
yeah. And then all like jellies and it's.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It's like super cool and it's like, the entrance, or like make a little statue of each one of them that glows and have like the teleporter right in front of it, so it's like choose your weapon.
It doesn't matter that it doesn't teleport you right now, because even if it did, what it does right now is right there. Well, it takes you right there, but also it fails the or because it moves you from room to room. That is treated as an illegal level transition. So it just kills you because we don't want you to be able to just like hop around things to get to different puzzles. Yeah. Like this. Obviously this needs to be fixed. Yeah. Well. I just need to make the collision bigger because it actually, you can pretty much like, it's not very big. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that won't be a problem in the future because that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a problem in like every puzzle in World 1 too. You can just jump around the checkpoint. You don't actually have to solve it.
All right, well.
All the puzzles are not necessary to solve.
That guy's stuck. Yeah. So we also ended up making the guards bigger. They're like 5x5. Yeah. And like still the same height so that you can't get on top of things, but.
So they're 5 meters by 4 meters?
No, they're 5x5. They're still squares.
I mean, high.
They're still 3.
Oh, 3 high.
Yeah, there's 3 high.
5 meters across.
Yeah, because we don't want you to be able to jump higher than things, but we wanted it where it's like you could put a dumb bat on it and still take control of the guard, because he was 3x3 before and it was really hard to have 2 things on him, and oh man, you'd fall off all the time. It was kind of the worst.
Yeah, it was terrible. That's okay, whatever. I'm just going on a tangent now because we're staring at the game, so.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's pretty...
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Oh. Controller is not... Xbox controller cables get really easily disconnected.
Yeah. So that's sort of the thing where we have it right now, yeah. I still think we should have it... Where's the mouse?
In front.
In front. So when... Just go kill Lumote. So when Lumote spawns, he spawns 6 meters. You can kind of see it by the basalts, like 6 of these in front. So I was thinking we'd have the teleporter 6 in front. So it's like, oh, you've come out of the checkpoint, but you're on the teleporter. And then it's also like if you died a whole bunch of times,
you
or
just
you
possess
could,
it.
just possess it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
This thing is just hosed. I don't know.
It's all good. Yeah. And then, and then as you do each puzzle in the sub-hub, it would increment where you solved it, and then you solve that sub-hub tower off the giant dumbat, and then do we want people...
Yeah, then you would just like go to a teleporter somewhere.
Okay. I guess my thing is, are there going to be 2 teleporter? I guess, would you go back to the teleporter from...
No, there would be 2.
There would be 2 teleporters in the sub-hub?
Yeah.
And I would take you back?
Really, we don't even need one in the sub... Like, we don't actually need one at the start of the sub-hub, because the sub-hubs aren't really complicated puzzles.
Yeah, but you still...
It's like, once you get in there, we should just be like, sorry, you have to finish the final sequence of this region? Like, why?
I don't know. I mean, for consistency of having all the checkpoints with a teleporter.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it doesn't matter. I think part of it's going to come down to like what you make the teleporters look like.
Yeah. I mean, we can have 2. I don't know. I just think like basically you're in a cinematic sequence at that point, right? It's not like it's an interactive sequence of events.
I mean,
it's not
you can
really
still kill yourself for some reason.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
But if you get really frustrated solving a sub-hub.
Or what if you want to like do them all in one like big like brah brah brah, you know?
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
It's like, I mean, the ability to
look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think like once you give somebody the ability of doing that, then are we gonna use teleporters in World 3? I don't think so.
I mean, you could literally make it where you just teleport to each level if you want.
No, I want people to jump so we have like these spoilers. We have these like giant light wires down there, and I'm gonna put moats on them, and I think it's gonna be really cool to have, and you're gonna be able to see the master moat, and it's gonna be cool to have like a bit of a zoomed out camera and the jumping around.
Okay.
And I kind of want that to be the experience.
Well, so then, yeah, I mean, maybe there's teleporters, maybe there isn't.
Yeah. I guess it comes down to like the architecture down there.
Yeah.
I have it laid out pretty.
Like the bulk of the
right
complicated puzzles are in World 2, right?
What? No, complicated puzzles are going to be in World 3.
The bulk of the complicated puzzles. Like, there's way more puzzles in World 2 than there are in World 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are going to be more puzzles in World 2. So, like,
if you've got, like, 6 puzzles or something at the end of the game, like, the final, like, epic master challenges, those puzzles... You either need to put teleporters in them because they're going to be difficult as these ones up here, or... we might.
Well, I do want to have all the. Yeah, I guess maybe that's it. So, oh! You've touched all the wrong buttons.
It's okay. It's just hit F12.
Yeah, because I did want to have it where it's like you could go to any puzzle in World 3. So maybe I will have.
But that whole like jumping around on the architecture could be how you get to each teleporter. So it could be like some platforming to get to the different locations.
That's true.
And then it's just like they're just air gapped. So you just like warp to the puzzle and then warp out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to play around with that architecture because there's going to be more puzzles in World 3 now because
you've made a whole bunch that aren't getting used in World 2.
Yes. But also because we still need to teach interaction between motes. Right. So there's going to have to be like a small interlude puzzle and then like the more complex puzzle that I was going to originally have.
Oh, I see. Okay. So there might be like 8 down there instead.
Yeah, or something like that.
It would be like a chain of 2 puzzles.
Yeah.
Per region, but there wouldn't really be.
Yeah, they're not really regions. It's just like...
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of regions because like originally each puzzle was going to have its like own
theme.
Not theme. Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it will just be like mini sub-hubs there. I don't know. That's a future Michelle problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
like 4 weeks from now.
Yeah, future Michelle problem. It's much easier to design this stuff once it's, I don't know, I have
working.
Yeah, but I think that's good.
Okay, well, cool.
Yeah, there you go. Teleporters.
We didn't actually get to show you when working. Well, we can. Do you want to like talk for 5 minutes? I think I can probably fix it right now.
Froggle. Did you say froggle it?
Froggle? I meant to say figure it out right now.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know what to talk about with Lumote.
I mean, you don't have to talk.
You should probably talk. That's the thing with these streams is you need to have a constant...
You're supposed to be just a constant stream of consciousness.
Pretty much.
So it just counts up. It should count to 1 second and then send me over to the other one. So why the hell doesn't it do that?
The one thing I can talk about, which is like, I guess, kind of connected to Lumote and Twitch, and that is the whole social media aspect of Lumote, which is hard to do. We don't really, we have social media personally, but we don't really do much on it, and so having to be super active with Lumote is quite hard for us. We started our Instagram recently. Oh man, I didn't know I didn't know Instagram was for video games because you have to post it on
you have to use your stupid phone unless you find a workaround. So it's people making indie games for Switch are posting on freaking the teleporter does work. The clock just takes a lot longer.
So easy fix.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I mean, Instagram didn't used to be for games, and then it became for games. It was I think it was mainly people were posting concept art, and then from the concept art, it was now we can do videos, and
right.
Then it was just snowballed from there.
Oh, I should post some of the old. Yeah, I'm gonna post some of the old Lumote concept art on Instagram next week.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Or screenshot Saturday. We can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, this is what I was kind of doing with the Thursday. I was gonna do Throwback Thursday sort of things, and slowly. Thursdays. Yeah, that's a thing.
Gotta work with those puns.
The tags. There's there's Screenshot Saturday, Throwback Thursday, and then there's apparently Indie Dev.
Sorry. No, go ahead. There's Indie Dev
Hour on Wednesdays. There's this whole.
Wait, so there's 1 hour where you have to post? What's the hour? Is it noon
7,
to 1?
No, it's 7 p.m. England time, I think. I forget. I don't know. I've never managed to actually get us posting there because I always forget until right after, and then I'm well, that's too bad. I should be better at this, but I'm not. Yeah, I got super ragey over Instagram yesterday because I was trying to post a video and you can't post from the computer, you have to post from your phone, which somebody later told me was just oh yeah, just run it as an emulator, and I was just why did I not think about that?
Yeah, you have to use a stupid desktop website debugger.
No, don't even do that. Just because I was doing it off Windows, but I could have done it off of, and I'm sure could have done like run Android Studios, and then from the emulator there post it. It would have been easier because like the problem I was having was getting the video onto my phone, but the video is already onto my computer,
right.
So from the emulator I can access it, and then.
So did you install Android Studio on your laptop yesterday?
No, I didn't, because we only found this out after talking to Michael and Scott.
Oh, he suggested that last night.
Yeah.
At D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Michael, Scott, and Darren.
We don't know their Twitch channel. Let's see if we can find it right now.
Oh yeah, they're awesome, and you should watch their Twitch channel. Ba ba ba. Yeah, we hope. I don't know their Twitch channel off the top of my head.
I have no.
He's not going to be under Michael Scott. No, it's not. You're just going to some rando's thing now. That's not them.
Well, it was worth a shot.
All right.
I'll have to just ask him.
Yeah. Either way, we'll post stuff.
Okay, I think this works now.
Okay.
So I actually think that
I slouch so much.
Yeah.
It's only like seeing myself on video. I'm just like, oh.
Well, it's like we're weird. We're like jammed up against one desk too. It's fine. Relax.
I don't want to be a golem.
Michelle the Rock Golem.
Yeah. Not even rock golem, just like golem. My precious.
Oh, like I gotcha.
Yeah.
Boop. There we go. Whoop, boop. That's the teleporter sound we're gonna have.
Just boop.
Whoop, boop. And then if we go back to the world, main world. We should put the main world file in levels, maybe. So that I can find it, because I always look next to the...
You have it pinned.
I do have it pinned.
You have it pinned to the top. This is why I don't even worry about it, because I have it pinned. So
I keep forgetting about the pins. Boop.
There you go.
Okay, so that didn't kill me, but this one I think will.
Boop. No!
Oh, because these two levels, that's a legal transition between these two levels.
Oh, because it's like a actual...
Yeah, because they're connected.
Yeah. So if you go to another...
Yeah, let's get over to the next one.
Yeah. Speed run that. Don't touch them. No. Things are so much more dangerous now that they're bigger. Like, kill myself a bunch.
It's good, I like it. This thing gets stuck.
What? That guy?
It doesn't go down.
That's not my fault.
No, I know it's not your fault. Arn's gonna... we have like a total rewrite of the navigation for these guys coming. So. Because we also just need to bump up their performance.
Yeah. Right.
So if I warp back from this one, ding!
Oh,
kills
dead.
You. Yeah. So you're gonna have to like decramp this is actually maybe a little bit too cramped an entrance anyway.
Alright, well.
But it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Can sort that out later.
This actually makes the level connectors a lot easier now too, because I don't have to worry about I don't actually have to worry about this being connected to the hub and being that shape. I can push it out a little. I can actually push it out further.
Yeah.
And just have like an empty room in between it.
Yeah. So
that it doesn't intersect with any of the other regions. Because there's not the worry about the distance walking anymore.
Yeah.
Which was actually was kind of difficult.
It's like teleporting is going to save extra walking. Because like while people will enjoy exploring the space to a certain extent, they're not just going to want to... Lumote's not a walking simulator. We want to optimize your access to puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll want to actually push it out anyway, just because it's having that little like teleportiness through stuff is pretty fun. So you want to have a little bit more distance.
The only thing,
and it also I think would make it's a little silly when you like teleport and it's like right there.
Yeah. The only thing is this like translation effect will to a certain extent we're gonna have to actually cut it.
Aww.
Because
it's cool.
I know, but when you load the puzzle,
yeah,
or when you warp to a puzzle, we actually have to ensure that that puzzle is in a clean state.
Oh, okay.
So if you've like half solved a puzzle
Mm-hmm.
and then left, that could put you in a situation where it just becomes a lot more difficult for us to reset.
Why don't we reset it once you leave?
Yeah, so we can. It's just the reason we need to probably fade to black is because there's going to be a little bit of a hitch while we reset the puzzle. Because when you delete everything in the puzzle, like when we reset all of this, there's like all this like we have to reconstruct all the physics objects. We have to reload everything. So we'll have to see. Maybe it'll be fine because everything's loaded in memory. We don't actually have to load anything off disk. But it just comes down to how long. It's the same. It's part of the reason why we fade to black, or we have a fade up here too, right? Or like when even if you go to like restart a checkpoint, we fade it out first. The reason we do that is because there's like a little bit of a hitch. So you can actually see the frame spikies there.
I just think it's kind of cool where it's right now we don't actually have any, like the only loading screen is the very first loading screen. So having a little bit of a black, I mean it's not a loading screen, it's just like a fade, but it feels like a loading screen. And we just have to get rid of this spiky stuff. Like 57 almost 60 milliseconds there is it's not so bad, but it is like and it will like interrupt the sort of smoothness of the experience. So that's usually when something fades to black, it's because a game developer is hiding something. But maybe we can. I'd like to be able to just have it where it just you just see the camera like I think that would be like
over there would be super
cool.
For sure. We'll see. Time permitting. The one thing Aaron suggested was like a combination where we turn the camera and start moving in that direction, like whipping the camera over there, but then we fade to black as we're doing it. So we can like, so you get this sort of sense that the sense of motion, but then it fades out and then you get it back. We've got to experiment.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay. Cool. So there's the teleporter. Well, kind of working. This is where I was at. Where if I did a code stream today, I was just gonna like basically be solving this. Which I probably won't do now. Now that we've done this, I'm just gonna work on this so that I don't have to get all chatty on stream.
Yeah, I think this was like a good.
I'm also hungry.
Yeah. But I think we came to like a good place with it where it's like we know how it's gonna work from the hub.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a separate entity from the checkpoint. And it's like I
can even make like we could even make it two sizes so that the ones in the hub are like big, but the ones in front of the checkpoints are smaller. Just so that there's like more emphasis on them being something that's like a little bit meatier when they're somewhere where there isn't a checkpoint. Like whenever they serve the purpose of being a checkpoint as well as, or in addition to their normal functionality as a teleporter, they can just be big.
So the one thing I also wonder is like for design is like if each region's teleporter is a slightly different color. So that it's like, because that one teleporter is always going to go to this set of teleporters, and this one is, whereas opposed to like if you see them, you're like, I mean,
I think like if they're surrounded by their like little shrine of
no, I know that makes
elements.
Sense. But it's just like in terms of coding it, it's like, why does this teleporter go here instead of here? And I mean, it doesn't really matter too much when you like people will get it, but it might be cool idea design wise if it's like a slight hue, even just like a hue shift.
If you when you stand on it, we could also just drift the camera to look in that direction. So it's like this area.
No, I don't think that'll be an issue of, I don't think it's an issue of people knowing where they're going, because like you said, I think having the moat that it represents being there, people will get that. I'm just saying in terms of being like,
it's just if that color, we would need to make that color more prominent than just on the teleporter. It'd be like, this teleporter is this color because it connects to this area over here that's
Mhm.
the same color.
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
So then we would need to like sort of like shade the different regions with a bit of a different color.
Which, I don't know, might be fine.
Sure.
Because, like, you were working on the flora, maybe those are kind of like whatever, hues-ish in the family.
Yeah,
To give it a
we can
bit of a-
explore that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying we should do this, guys. Like, if we don't have time, then having them all the same, I think will still work.
Yeah.
But
I think, yeah.
that's just an idea.
Okay. Are we good? Want to wrap this one up? Or
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've come to a logical place with the teleporters. At least for now. I mean, we've kind of talked through them all.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yay! Teleporters!
Thanks for coming by. Don't forget to wish list us. It's super important. Look at all these jazz hands.
Jazz hands!
Okay.
Lumote!
Thanks.
Bye.